I saw Ghosts at Philly's Electric Factory when the singer was still Papa 3. My mom and sister went with me to the show, and even though it wasn't their type of music, they still enjoyed it. Still, they were among a sea of Slayer and Testament shirts and tattoo sleeves galore. Yet since Ghost's inception, there's always been internet smartasses going, "Oh, Ghost isn't metal!" Listen, if you want to hear something harder, it's not difficult to find something. But if you want to hear a new direction on the genre, which it definitely needs, you have Ghost. So, Prequelle came out, and I eagerly listened. That took some time to process. Maybe it was the poppiness that everybody pisses and moans about, but something about it didn't immediately grab me, save for a couple of songs. In the months following, however, with the album on heavy rotation during my drives, it grew on me. It's a strong album, and I listened to it more than the previous albums if I'm being truthful. Now, in 2022, we have Impera. Given the trend of Ghost albums having to grow on people before they can get anything out of it, I'll do my best not to overcorrect. The album has an overall theme on the rise and fall of empires, and is supposed to take place centuries after the Black Plague on the Prequelle album. With the story, there are connections from the past to the present day. There are also a lot of Cawley references, starting with the album cover, and going into songs like Call Me Little Sunshine. The album is introduced with Imperium. It starts with acoustic guitars and militant drums, and then sweet melodic guitars come in. And then the first real song on the album is Kaisarian. It opens like an Iron Maiden song. It has Iron Maiden guitars, a number of the Beasties scream, prisoner-y tempo, and 7 Sonny keyboards. Yeah, this is just an Iron Maiden-y song. Apparently they played this on tour with great response. There's a tempo change about 3 minutes in, and I love the hell out of their organ sound. It comes in strong, and it's the same reason that I sometimes play the intro to Majesty over and over. But with this tempo change also comes a mood change, from optimism to determination. Lyrically, it seems to be about rebuilding a new empire from the ashes of a ruined one. And the keyboard ends strong on that final note. I should also comment that the production here is excellent. The voices and tones of each instrument are intense, yet crystal clear. I don't have to listen hard to find each individual element, though I think I can hear new things with each listen. The third track is Spillways. It has a peppy I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight piano-style riffing. Dun 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 dun. Meanwhile, the song goes by the Dance Macabre playbook of bringing 80s rock sounds to the 21st century. I really love the way he holds the notes at the end of each lyrical idea in the verses. Remember the wow wows from Rats? Well, that type of backing vocal is here too. There's a guitar solo that could have fit on a Scorpions album. It solos back to the piano riff and then brings the band back in. Classic songwriting move. And then it finishes the song with one last chorus. Tobias said in an interview that this song is about the darkness most people have inside. When you have a dam, spillways are the runoff so the dam won't overflow. That darkness inside us needs to find its way out. Call Me Little Sunshine was one of the album's singles. Fun fact, I've never really delved into the whole Cawley or Satanism thing. Ever. I barely know anything about it, and frankly don't care to. So when I first saw this title, I thought it had this weird connotation of, "Hi, I'm Tobias, I sing in a band called Ghost. But you can call me Little Sunshine." Yeah, obviously that's far from accurate. I had to be told that it was a Cawley reference. The B666 only means sunlight. You can call me Little Sunshine. Which, if you go on the internet, you can find all sorts of interpretations on the lyrics and the subtext of them, i.e. how they relate to Cawley, Lucifer, and potentially opium abuse. The single version of the song was 3 minutes and 50 seconds. The album version is 4 minutes and 44 seconds. It seems there's more guitar noodling, as well as a longer intro, with another few notes added to the main riff. The chorus is also repeated more towards the end. You know how sometimes bands will do radio edits of album songs, and you prefer the radio version because of the brevity of the song? Well, this is a case where the extra length really does add a little more to the song without losing the excitement. It's such a bombastic song, another in the long line of classic Ghost songs that'll stay in your head all day. You will hate anybody who sings it near you, and you'll hate anybody who plays that guitar riff near you too. Because then you just gotta listen to it. The next single on the album, Hunter's Moon, was in the credits of Halloween Kills. I saw the movie at the theater and I thought it had a weird ending. But the taste of that nonsensical ending was washed out by the sounds of Ghost. On the album and music video mix, there's less focus on strings and big drums, and the section before the guitar solo is different. There's a stopping note, and it's more ominous altogether. When it came out as a single, the song really didn't grab me that much, but I started to like it after repeat listens. It's still not as good as the other songs, but I give it a pass. Watcher in the Sky follows that. It's heavier and more menacing than what I'm used to from Ghost. But Ghost isn't metal! There's dive-bombing guitars, a growly bass, and low notes. There's a nice choir sound in the break after the second chorus. It makes me think that this is what you'd get if you took Ghost's second and third albums and meshed them together. 2 eras of Ghost in one. And there's a really long fade-out, probably because vinyl was the format they were thinking of when they were making this album, because this is the song that finishes side 1. What begins side 2 is Dominion. It does what Imperium does on side 1. It declares the state of things. Imperium lets you know that there's hope and optimism, and now with Dominion, it warns of a downfall. Things are different now. It's a different type of cohesion from Prequelle, where you hear different melodies throughout the album. And the first real song on side 2 is 20s, with horns galore. It's like it's mixing 3 different genres, metal, pop, and swing. It's heavy and disjointed, and it's also an analogy on current events while also talking about the past. To me, it's not really a satisfying listening experience, but that could change in time. Also, the whole grab 'em by the hoo-ha's line threw me. But as far as the song goes, it's in the same league of heaviness as Watcher. The next song is Darkness at the Heart of My Love. It's a slower jam, which is pretty much needed for the pacing of the album. There are plenty of ahs and other choir work with acoustic guitars. The production is decadent enough that little notes are allowed to ring out. Basically, the song is about leaders pandering about being righteous and godly while also being pieces of shit. Griftwood is this album's witch image. It's the mellow, mid-tempo song near the end. You know the type. By now I'm noticing the guitar solos take more presence here than on other Ghost albums. I guess people liked the sound of Dance Macabre and said that they wanted more of it. At least the band listens. Bite of Passage is the last instrumental bit, which really just leads into the final song, Respite on the Spittlefields. There seems to be a lingering after each pre-chorus line that ends with a D. Duh. There's a counterpoint 2 minutes in, quite early for the song. The guitar solo happens and the mood changes in general. I like the instrumental break before the vocals come back. Great drum fills to complement the piano later, and it's a big sounding song that'll work well on my hikes and my walks. Supposedly the song is about Jack the Ripper, though I'm sure that it can take on other meanings, especially if it takes time. Perhaps it can also be about demigods, or cult of personality if you will. And that's Impera. If you don't count Prequelle's bonus tracks, Impera runs a little longer at 46 minutes. This album grabs you more immediately. Its concept works well in a different way than Prequelle, and it's clear they heard what the fans like and wanted to give them more of it. It's also more metal than Ghost's other albums. Not to mention, with the amount of delays and time it took to produce, the sound quality was labored over. That being said, Miasma is one of my favorite Ghost songs ever, partly because of its unpredictability, also because of its saxophone solo. I was looking for this album's version of Miasma, and I never got it, which is a shame. So, I feel like my one criticism about this album is that maybe it played it a little too safe and it's not daring enough. That being said, it's still a damn good album, and absolutely essential listening if you're a Ghost fan, though I like Prequelle slightly more. Anyway, thank you for watching, and grind on.